Hello YouTube, figured I'd throw this up for you guys so you kind of get an idea what you're looking at. Today we are working on a 2014 Nissan Sentra. We are servicing the transmission, got a couple other things we're doing. Mostly want to focus on the transmission today. Hope you guys can hear me, it's kind of loud in the shop out here today. So what I've done is I've drained and filled this. This is the recommended service procedure. We do not flush these. And you have to use Nissan specific fluid. It is either, for the CVTs, for the older ones, it's NS2 up until about 2013, or it's NS3, anything 13, 14 and on. And it does change between some of the model years, so make sure you know you got the right fluid. This is what I wanted you to see. You saw how it went from a solid pouring out to this drip. That's how you know it's full. But it's a combination of a couple of things to verify the fluid level. One is fluid temperature, and two, it's a slow drip coming out of it. So right like that, that's perfect. We're going to check our fluid temp, 104 degrees, that is perfect. Now the temperature variation varies between vehicles, but for the most part 104 degrees Fahrenheit is your money child. Now on this particular Sentra, in order to completely drain this, if you pull the drain plug, that will not drain this. There's actually a tube inside that goes up inside of here that has threads that actually goes up inside about this far, and you need to actually pull that tube out. You see how I'm back to dripping. We are at a perfect fluid level right now, and I'm going to leave it at that. Just drain plug back in here, and in order to get that plug out of the transmission, that fill tube, you're going to need one of these, and of course I've left it somewhere. Now I get to find it. It's just a 5mm Allen. This makes it really nice to have the socket. Just be very careful threading it in and taking it out so you don't damage the threads. They are very easy to mar. But once you pull that 19mm drain plug, you're going to stick this in there and you're going to pull that out. Now this pertains to Versas and Sentras. The Altimas are different, and so are the Rogues. They use a different system to verify correct fluid level. So you're going to want to get it nice and hot. If you've got any kind of a flush chemical you're trying to run through it, run that through it first. Make sure you are only using NS3. You're going to remove the drain plug, and then you've got that Allen key, that tube. You're going to pull that whole tube out, and then you're going to drain everything. And then once it's all drained out, you're just going to put the 19 back in it. You're going to leave that tube out for now. You're going to refill the system. Usually about 3 to 3.5 quarts of oil will do it. And then you're going to drive it, you're going to run it. I usually just run it on the hoist for a good 5-10 minutes, turn off the traction control and run it, and then do it again. Just pull this 19, but you've already got that tube pulled out. I usually do a drain and fill at least twice. And then once you're ready to do your final fill, you're going to thread that tube back into it very carefully, not to damage the threads. You're going to tighten it down, and then you're going to hand thread the 19 in, and then you're going to start filling from the top. You're going to fire it up. Same thing, about 3.5 quarts, and then you're going to fill up the trans, and then come back down here. You're going to pull that 19 back out so that tube's in there, and it should be coming out just a slow stream like you saw. And then once it starts dripping, then you're a-okay. You're good to go right there. Okay, pretty simple to do, a lot easier with a hoist, and you have to have some kind of a scan tool that can read transmission temperature, because the fluid, the reason it's so specific is that this fluid is very, there's a word for it, I can't remember it, but it varies the volume. How much fluid there is varies exponentially with very small fluid temperature changes, if that makes sense. So at 60 degrees there might be this much fluid in it. Once you get that up to 240 degrees, there's this much fluid. And so it has to be at a specific temperature, and it has to be dripping out of the drain plug, if that makes sense. Any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Hope this helps you guys out.